Hello friends, today I will talk about artificial intelligence and authentic identity. Within the next few years, artificial intelligence will take over most desk jobs. People panic when they hear this. Actually, they say, what will we do with our jobs and so on. The main question is not whether I will lose my job, but how I can exist again in a way that artificial intelligence cannot copy. Actually, this is not a threat. It will also cause a strategic transformation. For this reason, because artificial intelligence will now take over most jobs, authentic identity has turned into a matter of survival. Everything will progress not with fate or luck, but with mathematics. They say artificial intelligence cannot take over creative jobs. But most of the work we do in the market is not creative work for artificial intelligence. Already 90% of it consists of repetitive tasks. Accountants, lawyers, or engineers do work that is 90% repetitive. Creativity is no longer required. Artificial intelligence has already seen and instantly solves a task that an engineer might see once or a few times in their life. For this reason, when we do not put our own authentic identity into most of the work we do, our chance of existing and continuing will decrease. Unfortunately, artificial intelligence will take over most jobs in the coming years. Artificial intelligence companies will now start to specialize. Amazon has allocated a budget of $100 billion for this. It said we will grow aggressively. Other companies will also grow aggressively in the same way. This will bring it about that now most work will be done by artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence will release applications on a country-by-country basis for accounting, or the rest of the professions, or legal professions in every country. There will be artificial intelligences specific to each country that know their own rules. Therefore, finding your authentic identity and creating a difference will no longer be an awareness, a difference, or a privilege, but a necessity. For this reason, I will now explain how to find authentic identity and what we need to do about it. Now, a human comes into the world with some talents. They need to discover these talents. Finding authentic identity is the intersection of 3 points. First is the talents you brought, the areas where you are most natural and effortless. Some people know this intuitively, while others need to discover it. In some traditions, this can be clear in the North Node, astrology, or numerology charts. We need to use this as a self-reading. So actually, what is my talent? What is your natural inclination? Second is the profession I learned. That is, everyone needs to learn some things while coming into this life. In my plan, for example, there was engineering. I am a civil engineer myself. What I needed to learn was not the profession itself. It was the way of thinking and application that it would gain for me. I learned how to establish systems, break things into parts, and look at things mathematically correctly, because I was an engineer. I learned it because I received an engineering education. For years, I actually thought this was a profession, but people confuse this. I am doing a profession. Why? No. A person doing accounting is actually doing the accounting of life. How is accounting done in life? How is the accounting of life done? How does a person doing engineering do life engineering? They learn how to express myself, this life of mine, mathematically, and how to be with this way of thinking. It could be a mechanic, a teacher, a tradesperson. What matters is not the titles, but what that job teaches you. Third is your dreams. What will I be when I'm a child? We had set them aside as nonsense. When the time comes, it's now time to bring them out. So we have 3 points, our intersection point of 3 things. 1, the talents we brought. 2, the profession we learned and the areas we enriched. 3, our childhood talents. This is not just a matter of money to find authentic identity. It brings you money, but at the same time, it teaches you to serve the collective, that is, the world. However, one can overflow from where they overflow. One can serve life, the collective, and humanity from the point where they are enriched. At the same time, one can become enriched from here. This is why we need to find these points. Does everyone have to find this? Not everyone has to find it, but be sure that everyone who has made a leap in some way, people who truly do their job with love and earn a lot of money from it, have discovered their own talents, their own situations without realizing it, and are progressing accordingly. Now, when we take all these into account and consider them, we need to evaluate. In this age, we must find our authentic identity. Because with the arrival of artificial intelligence, this has now become very important. In other words, things will no longer progress. So what can we do about this? There are 3 questions we can start with. While doing a job, during which job do I not realize how time passes? People constantly say you do this well, and write down the areas where I don't understand how time passes. Look at this one. Second, what do people constantly consult you about? That is, what is the thing they say, you do this, well, do it for us too. Third, childhood dreams. Write down the intersection point of these 3 on a piece of paper and think about it. And start brainstorming about what can be done. The answer might not come in one day. Maybe someone will tell you from here or there. Maybe you will hear it on TV. Maybe there will be some people who will be an example, but be sure the answer will come to you in some way. If nothing happens, it will come in your dream. This answer comes to you in some way. Just increase your awareness and choose for the answer to come. This is one of the biggest and easiest ways to make a leap, especially in this period where artificial intelligence is effective. In this period where it will be even more effective. This has now turned into a necessity. So this is not a pleasure. It has turned into a necessity. Now, without this, both the point of enrichment and the points of existence have greatly decreased. If you want to get more detailed information about this, there is a book I wrote. You can access this from my site or from Amazon and other places, or you can research other resources about it and take a look. It would also work if you write it on the internet or YouTube. How do I become my authentic identity? How do I discover myself? And so on. These will definitely lead the way. Now, I choose for this channel to grow, for those who watch to find their authentic identity, and for it to bring in plenty of money. I choose for everyone in this channel to synchronize with this in this way, and I invite you to subscribe. I also request your hype so that our group grows and increases. Thank you for listening to me. Take good care of yourself. See you soon.